Hi, it's Nick Olson here in Stockton, California. This is the first week in the Introduction to Music Production course, and today I'm going to show you how to record an electric guitar using an amplifier and a direct inbox. We don't want to plug the guitar directly into the computer because the signal is not line level, that is, the impedance is not at the level that it needs to be to use it in a DAW. And so the best way to bring the signal up to line level is with a direct inbox. Now some interfaces are already built to where you don't need a direct inbox to record. However, it is useful still because then you can actually hear the guitar through the amp in real time without any latency, which is the delay in the time that you hear the signal out of your computer monitors. So what I'm going to do first is plug in the direct box to the guitar. This is my Behringer Ultra G direct box. Now on the side here, this is the back, you have a balanced output to the mixer. So this is where I'm going to plug a balanced XLR cable from here to the interface on my computer system. And the reason I want to use this XLR port is because an XLR cable is balanced and it'll send the proper signal out and without a lot of noise. So I can use a little bit longer cable to run from this to the interface. Now on this here I also have a cabinet simulator that's supposed to make it kind of sound a little bit richer. I'm not going to use that today. The ground lift button, which is also going to help if there's any kind of noise signals that we're hearing. This is just where the battery goes. Now on the other side here I have two pads. One's for negative 20 decibel and another for another negative 20, and that's in case the signal is too high. We can drop that down a little bit so that way we're not going to have a lot of clipping or distortion. So the input here, this is what I'm going to plug my guitar TS cable into, the 1/4 inch instrument TS cable. And the direct link, which is also an input or also called an input through port, I'm going to plug a TS cable from that to the amp so that way I can hear the sound through the amp. Now I also am thinking that I should probably record the amp signal. So I'm going to plug a microphone into my interface as well at the same time. So that way I'm actually going to get two signals. One that's direct from the inbox, or not inbox, I'm sorry, the interface, and one that is direct from a microphone picking up the sound of my amplifier. I could use the amplifier line out and plug that directly into the interface. However, there is no line out on this particular amp, so that's not an option that I have today. I could also plug directly into the inbox too because it has a high Z direct input for instruments, but I'm not giving you a lesson on that today, so I'm not going to go down that path at this point in time. Now first I'm going to make sure that my inputs are down. I'm going to use input 1 here, but I make sure that that's all the way down so that way I don't get any popping noises or anything like that which could blow out my speakers. So that's the first step. And the speaker's already off right now, so we're good there. The amp is off. And I'm going to plug into the direct box with a short TS cable from my guitar. Shorter the better because then you don't pick up any noise. So let's just plug that in here to the input, the first one. And then I'll plug the other end of that TS cable that's in the input of the direct box into the guitar. Okay. Now I'm going to plug another TS 1/4 inch cable into the direct link or the input through port of the direct box, and then I'm going to plug that into the amplifier so that way I can hear the sound of the amp while I'm playing and recording. So after that, what I need to do is I need to plug an XLR cable into the back of this direct box that's going to run to my interface on the computer. So we do that here. We make sure the ground lift is off for now, the cabinet simulator is off for now, and the pads are both off for now. Now I'm going to take the other end of the XLR cable that's plugged into the output of the direct box, and I'm going to plug it into input 1 of the inbox 2, which is my interface here. Now I'm going to open up Pro Tools DAW here so that I can actually do a sample recording for you. As you can see, that's loading up. I'm going to go ahead and create a blank session here so I can just start the new tracks that I want. I'm going to save it here in Pro Tools Sessions. I'll call it Direct Box Test. Should open up a new song file here. I'm going to add a new track. Actually, two of them. Both audio tracks. And then there we have them. Now I switched to mixed view, or not mixed view, but the edit window, sorry. I'm going to record enable both tracks. One of them is going to be on input 1. The other one is on input 2, which they were already set to. Now we're going to turn on the amp and the volume. Starting, we're going to turn the amp on before we turn the volume on anything else. Now I'm going to get the microphone positioned in front of the amp while I'm over here. So probably not too close because this is a condenser microphone, so the signal is going to be pretty high as it is. It's a powered microphone. I'm going to turn the amp on here. Make sure the volume's down, which it is. And I'm going to turn it up a little bit, but not too much here. As you can see, there's quite a bit of feedback right now, and that's just because of the effect setting that I have it on. So if I change that, it'll go away accordingly. That's a lot better. Now, all that should be good to go, but what we need to do is get a little bit of a test here on the sound from the guitar and see if there's a signal. Now I'll look over here and I can see that I have a signal on audio 1, which is from the direct box to the interface. So I need to get the microphone working. That little signal that we did have was not actually much of a signal because the volume's all the way down here, so if I turn it up a little bit, it's going to get a lot better signal from the direct box. And then I'm going to turn the mic up a little bit also to get a signal from that, and I need 48 volt phantom power for that mic because it's a condenser microphone. Now, as you can see here, now I'm getting a pretty good signal from both the direct input box and the microphone. And we don't want it to go into too much into the orange and close to the red there, because then we'll know that we're clipping. So here's a test. So that's pretty good actually. We just barely got into the orange on the direct in signal. And we also want to monitor here. There are two clipping light indicators on the inbox interface actually. This would be the microphone because that's in 2. Now this is in 1, so if we get any red flickering lights there, we'll know that we're clipping at the signal there and that we have them too high. So now if I play it really loud on the input 1, you're going to get the clipping there, and I can turn it down a little bit more to help take care of that. Or just don't play so thrashingly. Alternatively, I should put a pad on this direct box so that way I can turn the input up a little bit here and, you know, get a little bit better of a signal possibly. Now I'm going to do a test recording. Now, as you can see, I've got 2 tracks recorded. One is the direct in, which does not have the amp effects or anything like that. So I'm going to play it. You'll hear both of them together. Now watch. I start it over and just do the direct input signal and mute the other track with the amp, you're going to hear the direct signal clean. Or switch it to just the amp signal. Now, one of the reasons that is useful is because I can take that direct signal track and I can apply effects on inserts here in Pro Tools to that, so I can actually simulate the sound of two amps or two different sounds from the same recording at the same time, and it'll just give it a lot more of a richer feel and more timbre to the sound. So now what I've done here is I've taken the direct input signal and added a little bit of effects to it with a dynamic delay and a reverb. So now it's got a little bit different of a tone to it mixed with the amplifier recording signal. And I also pan the tracks to one side or the other a little bit just to make it sound a little different. You probably can't tell on this recording though. One final note, when you're unplugging your instruments, make sure you turn all the volumes and gain stages down first before you unplug them, so that way you don't get any clicking or popping. And that has been my version of how to record a guitar with an amplifier and a direct input box. And until next time, I'm Nick Olson in Stockton, California. See ya.